Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography weekly chats. I love talking photography. Thanks for being here. I love talking photography with people and chatting and having conversations. I love all the comments. That all makes my day. So today I want to talk about the golden age of analog photography. I think we're in it. I think we are in the best time outside of the 70s and 80s. But even better than then, film prices and photography prices for analog have come down. Well, the cameras are much less expensive. You can afford to get a Hasselblad that when I was growing up and I was a working photographer, I could never really afford a Hasselblad. And when I was a working photographer in a newspaper shooting 35 millimeter, I could dream of shooting large format, but I had no real way to make money with it, and large format cameras were a lot of money. But now you can get a large format camera for not very much money. And you can get a medium format Rolleiflex or a Hasselblad. And prices have gone up in the last 8 or 10 years, yes. But they're still way less than they were. You can use cameras that are built like these tanks. There's an old Leica M5 that people didn't like because of they changed the shape of it. And I love this camera. Of all my Leicas, this is probably one of my absolute favorite because I feel like this is the biggest solid body that I have, and the viewfinder is perfect. With a 50 millimeter and glasses, I can see the whole frame. That's why I like it so much. But to me, this is a great handholdable camera. But this is possible because analog photography is affordable. I looked up the price of a roll of black and white film in 1980, and if you adjust for inflation, the price has gone up a penny. Film isn't extraordinarily expensive when you figure where we are, how far we are from 1980 to now. That's 40 years. And we say, oh, film is too expensive to shoot. It's not. If you shoot a roll of film of HP5 for $6 a roll, if you get it processed at home with your own developing tank and HC110 and a little bit of fixer, you now have photographs for probably under $650 for 36 frames. You spend that, I spend that on a coffee. We spend that on beers. Film is not too expensive, especially because it's art that will last. And those negatives, once you have those negatives processed, you can photograph them on a light box with a DSLR if you want to make a quick scanning setup. Or you can print them in a darkroom. I have an actual darkroom, and it's not very expensive to work in a darkroom and make my own photographs. And I'm a photographer, I make photographs. It's important to me to print those photographs. But the fact that we have at our disposal professional labs still. You know, all the drugstores are gone. All the department store, all the, mini labs that were all kind of poor quality, they're all gone. They served the masses, which didn't want much but cheap prices. Now the people who are left are the good labs. The labs that care about making quality processing. So now we're in a place where kind of all the, I don't mean yahoos in the sense of, I mean them in the sense of people who weren't serious about photography like we were, and we are. People who were just trying to make basically an Instagram photo as cheap as possible, and they just want to use their phone in the day, so they use a plastic point and shoot camera with a bad lens because they wanted to spend only $30 on their camera. I'm talking about we got rid of all that. We don't have to make photographs with $30, Vivitar point and shoots that are fixed focus. We get to work with great cameras like these. And the cameras have become affordable. The processing is available. The processing is all the best because, again, all those little fly-by-night labs are all gone. The ones that are left are the people who actually are doing good work. And we get to make photographs on film. We still get to handcraft photographs in a world where people don't know what that is, where people don't think there's any value to it, but all of their photos are given a split-second like, glance, and swipe away. I was listening to a podcast, and there's a famous photographer. I want to say his name is Ralph Gibson. And he said he doesn't want to put, or maybe it was Albert Watson. He said he doesn't want to put anything on Instagram. It's not looked that long enough. I don't want to market myself on Instagram. I don't want to put my work on Instagram. He said, because it's not looked that long enough. I refuse to put my work in a venue that doesn't get any kind of respectable time of somebody looking at my work. And I can see that. And the fact that we make photographs right now, we can make the greatest photographs, and those photographs will last, because I just printed some photographs from back in the 80s and 90s, because I still have negative sleeves, and I can still find those negatives. And there's nothing wrong with them. They last for a long, long, long time. Whereas I can't find digital files from 10 years ago, and we're talking 40 and 30 years ago, and I have negatives readily available. What you're doing now may seem like, oh, I'm not sure it's going to matter. It will matter. Time will make it matter. Everything is better after time goes along, and then you still have that thing that you made by hand that physically exists. Because none of the digital stuff physically exists. It just exists in clouds. But the photographs you make, the prints you make, the books you order, they're the only thing that will survive. And we have to make prints. We have to make photographs. We're photographers. And we get to do it with the best black and white films, the best color films. There's new slide films. There are more companies coming out with new films. They're offering more opportunities and more choices than ever, because there's an enthusiastic audience looking to make film photographs. We're in a golden age of film photography. The film hasn't gone up that much in price. It's affordable. Make film photographs. Make great art. That's what we need to do. And we can. It's the best time to do it. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. I always welcome your comments. And if you can support, hit the Patreon or go to supportkenneth.com. Thank you to all my supporters. As always, here's the good light.